Welcome to Ask a Lawyer with the attorneys at Hepworth Holzer, life-changing law in Boise, Idaho. Today, it's John Janis. John is an AV preeminent peer-review rated personal injury lawyer and is the 2015 Plaintiff's Lawyer of the Year by Best Lawyers in America. John answers your questions about the law and how it affects you.
What are the time limits for bringing personal injury cases or wrongful death cases?
That's generally referred to as the statute of limitations. And under Idaho law, most personal injury or wrongful death cases have to be brought within 2 years of the time frame that the cause of action or the claim accrues. To put it simply, it's basically a 2-year statute of limitations in Idaho for personal injury or wrongful death claims.
So when do the time limits begin?
Well, believe it or not, that is a fairly complicated question, and there are quite a few cases decided by the Idaho Supreme Court that address this very topic. There are multiple choices a state can make for when a statute of limitations period begins to run. One of them would be when the wrongful act occurs, regardless of when the person figures out they've been injured. Another would be to start the statute of limitations when the plaintiff or the claimant figures out they've been damaged. In a cancer case, for example, if there's a failure to diagnose cancer, it would often be the case that the claimant has no idea they have cancer, and it's only until they find out that there's a claim. But Idaho has adopted a middle ground for this, which is this, the rule in Idaho is that the statute of limitations, the 2-year period, begins to run from the time the plaintiff who is injured or the decedent killed has suffered some damage, quote unquote, from the negligent or otherwise wrongful act. And oddly enough, there's quite a few cases that debate that question as to, well, when does some damage accrue? Again, the cancer case would serve as a good illustration of that point.
Is there a way to extend the deadlines?
The statute of limitations is a 300-pound gorilla of a statute, and it is basically a unforgivable almost. There's only one way to extend statute of limitations. We generally live by the rule, if a statute of limitations is blown by even 1 minute or 1 day, then it's gone, and there's nothing you can do about it. The one and only way that you can extend it before the deadline comes is to reach an agreement with the other side who is going to be sued, that for whatever reason they would agree to do what they call tolling, T-O-L-L-I-N-G, the statute of limitations, which is essentially to pretend that time does not exist for that period of time of the length of the tolling agreement. But that would have to be agreed to by the other side. It's quite unusual, and generally speaking, the easier path to follow is to believe the statute of limitations is 2 years and get it filed within the 2 years.
Thanks for listening to Ask a Lawyer with the attorneys at Hepworth Holzer, life-changing law in Boise, Idaho. Join us next time as they answer your questions about the law and how it affects you. They can be reached at 208-343-7510 or hepworthholzer.com.